Welcome back to the LEC playoffs, where Fnatic come out victorious against G2 today after 4 games. And Razork, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. Congrats on taking them down. How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now?
Well, it feels pretty good to win against G2. Honestly, I think the games went our way, except the second game that we had really unlucky fights, but pretty happy with how we played.
Yeah, it was a very nice game and clean games also from you, the ones you won. We talked in the pre-show about things being difficult when it comes to draft against G2, considering the fact that they can play lots of champions and sometimes champions that other players are afraid to play. How did you work around this when you prepped against the team?
Well, we have also really good answers against the champs in the meta. We are really adaptive to that sense, and we actually came out with better drafts today, in my opinion. We were really under control. Even in the second game, I think our draft was not too bad. It's just playable, but we didn't play too good the early game, and they just take over the game. But overall, it wasn't too hard to play against G2 draft.
Nice. Well, yeah, you did well indeed. I asked Dylan about blue side being so dominant so far in playoffs. Do you have an opinion on that and the fact that teams mostly win from blue side, except you, of course, in the last game?
I mean, I guess there are just many AD champs that they're OP.
Yeah.
So either you trade them or you just get with the Jinx, the Seri that looks really strong. Or in the jungle, there is popular Hecarim pick and stuff. So I guess there are many OP champs right now. So blue side is strong.
About OP champs, you mentioned, we've seen a rise of Hecarim during a playoffs, more than during the regular season, I mean. How do you explain that? The fact that we see more the champions?
I mean, I guess it's because of when Gold Drinker got nerfed, I guess the Turbo Kentank is more valuable on jungler because it's really cheap item. And Hecarim is the best champ to play with Turbo Kentank, I guess.
Indeed, indeed. I want to show you something. During the last game and the last play, actually, we're going to look at the screen here. I want you to talk me through the dragon play because G2 is in position right now, but you still get it. How do you play this one?
If I'm not wrong, I think this fight we decided to play slow when the Drake was up and try to poke them as much as we can. But I think Upset here calls that he can look to 50-50 it with me because we have Shaya Feathers and Bolly E, so it's really hard for Trundle to steal it, and we went for it, and then the fight is just really slow, a lot of cooldowns being used, a bit of chaos around. But here we just call that we have Cillian ult still, so we just go ham on them and we ace them. Or we actually don't ace them, but we kill both carries, so we went for the end. But I think the way we played this fight was pretty good, I guess. I would say I wasn't too focused on what LeBlanc and Nard did, but Healy, Upset, and me, we were as a unit, and we did pretty good. Yeah.
Well, and spacing especially was perfect during this team fight. Razork, you mentioned playing G2 for the first time in best of 5 actually, and we know how important this matchup is in the LEC history in general. How special was it for you being one of the youngest players in this Fnatic lineup?
I mean, it's really special for me because I think it's the first time that I go to semi-final in LEC. So, I mean, I guess it's a small win for me. And personally, it just feels like I'm the youngest player in the team, but I feel like I'm the captain most of the time in the game. When the early game hits, or I feel really confident, I raise my voice, and you know that something good's gonna happen. And when I pick a champion like Bolly, I have so much freedom to play aggro because there is no tower. So I just raise my voice and say, we are going for this. And my team will follow. And sometimes good things happen, but sometimes some int happen. But it's worth it to try, no?
Yeah, it is worth it. And
there's some flips sometimes.
Exactly. And this is what makes you a clutch player indeed. And I'm super happy to see that you're taking your responsibilities as a jungler. And you anticipated my last question. You'll be playing your first semifinals against Rogue. You saw them yesterday. What's your take on the team and your ability to take them down next week?
I think Rogue is a team that plays really control and structure. They don't do many mistakes. So I guess against them, it will be even more slow game, probably. I have no clue. Depends of what version of Malrang comes If he decides to be the perma-gank and see what happens, then the game will be over level 5 for either team. Depends if he gets the ganks off or not. But lately, I think he has been playing more control and discipline. And I think it's going to be a really interesting best of 5.
Yeah. Ice and fire, I think, for this best of 5. Razork, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats again on taking down G2. And you guys don't go anywhere at home because we're here for PGL with